This is lesson 54, graphing basics. So we learned in our last lesson that most equations, ideally, we want in the form y equals mx plus b. Again, it's really easy to find the two key parts that we're going to need in order to graph our line. So when we graph, the first thing we're going to do, make sure our line is in y equals mx plus b form, and then we're going to identify the parts. So our first thing is our slope, again, m in that formula, and in this case our slope is 2/3. The other thing we're going to identify is our b, also known as the y-intercept. And in this case, our y-intercept is +5. So now, what does that mean for our graph? I'm going to write in some more notes. For b, we're going to remember b as begin. So we are going to begin our graph at the number 5. And it's called the y-intercept because it's going to go along the y-axis. So I'm also going to label my y-axis and my x-axis just for sake. All right, so I'm going to begin my graph at the y-intercept, which is +5. And here is that point +5. It's right in between 4 and 6. I'm going to make a point right there. Now the letter M. The letter M, we're going to remember that that is our way to move. So we are going to move according to what the slope tells us. Our numerator number is going to be in the y direction. So it's either going to be up or down, depending on the number. This is +2, so it's going to be moving up. And then our denominator is going to tell us if we're going to be moving left or right. In this case, because it's positive, notice our positive numbers go to the right. So watch how I'm going to move. I'm going to start at my beginning point. I'm going to move up 1, 2 numbers, and then over 1, 2, 3 numbers, and I'm going to make a point. Right now my point is on 3, 7. So again, I started at 5, and I moved up, counted 1, 2, up, and then I counted 1, 2, 3 to the right. And I'm going to do that same process, except I'm going to start now at the point 3, 7. 1, 2, up, and over to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to make a point. Now, when I'm out of space going in one direction, I'm going to do the complete opposite in the other direction. So instead of up 2, I'm going to go down 2. And instead of to the right 3, I'm going to go to the left 3. So one more time. From that beginning point, because I could not go any more up 2 and to the right 3, up 2 and to the right 3, I'm going to go its opposite way, down 2 and to the left 3. I'm going to do another down 2 and to the left 3. When you are graphing, ideally you're going to want to graph at least 3 points. That usually helps. And then when you connect your line, you're going to want to use a ruler. Now I am on a computer, and it's not easy for me to draw a straight line. And it's really obvious to see that I did not use a ruler, but your job is going to be to use a ruler to make the line extra straight. And then when you're done, you're going to label your line with the equation that you graphed. However it is given to you, and it was given to me in this y equals mx plus b form. All right, so we just talked about a lot of things. In order to graph, the first thing I have to check is it in y equals mx plus b form? Once I know that it is, I'm going to identify the parts. I'm going to identify the slope, and then I'm going to identify the y-intercept. When I begin my graph, I want to start with the letter b, which is the y-intercept, along the y-axis, and I'm starting at 5. My slope is my m. It tells me how to move. Top number, my numerator, is going to tell me if I'm moving up or down, and my bottom number, or my denominator, is going to tell me if I'm moving left or right. Let's try two more. First step, is it in y equals form? It is not. So I have to move so that my y is by itself. I'm going to move that 3 to the other side by adding. Now I have y equals 5x. Again, I like it in mx plus b form, plus 3. And equals, now I identify my two parts. My slope, or my m, is 5. Again, I'm going to write it as a fraction over 1. That was from yesterday's lesson. And my b, my y-intercept, is going to be positive 3. Again, when I start my graph, when I begin my graph, I'm going to begin with the 3, which is my y-intercept. I'm going to label my y-axis and my x-axis. So I'm going to begin at the number 3, which is right here on my y-axis. Now I'm going to move. How am I going to move? I'm going to move up 5 and to the right 1. Again, all positive directions. 5 in the positive direction on the y-axis, 1 in the positive direction on the x-axis. So I'm going to start at the number 3, and I'm going to count up 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to move over 1 spot, and I'm going to make a dot. Now this is really quick. I cannot count another 5 up and over 1. So instead, I'm going to do the opposite. Count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left 1. And that's going to be right here at negative 1, 2. And I can do that, I think, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down and to the left 1. And that is it. Again, I'm going to use a ruler to connect my line. I'm going to just sketch it real quick. But again, you guys need a ruler, and you'll see me using one in class. And once I'm done with my line, I'm going to label it. Notice I'm labeling it with the original equation that was given to me right here. All right, last one. Again, this one is not in y equals form. I cannot identify the information until I move it over. So this is addition. I'm going to move that 1/2 x over by subtracting. It will now say y equals, because I want it in mx plus b form, I'm going to put the negative 1/2 x in the front and the 8 in the back. And because it's positive 8, I'm going to make a plus sign. I identify those two pieces of information. My slope, in this case, is going to be negative 1/2. My b and my y-intercept is going to be positive 8. Again, begin with the b. I'm going to start on the y-axis at the point 8. And my slope is now telling me I want to go actually down 1. Whoa, it's negative 1. And also to the right 2, because again, that 2 is positive. So let's try that. Down 1 and to the right 2, make 1. Down 1 and to the right 2, make another 1. I'm going to keep going in that pattern until I'm pretty much done. I like to go until I'm done or out of space usually, because it's so quick and easy to do. And then if I want to, I could go up 1 and to the left 2, up 1 and to the left 2, and again I would connect my line. Ooh, that's terrible. Connect my line. I have a ruler tool, but I just don't know how to use it on here. It's not look at that. Look how nice it makes a line, but I can't turn it, so I don't really know how to use it. Because it doesn't seem to turn for me. I can move it, but I can't seem to turn it. I'm not sure how to do that, so I'm going to stop that for now. But you get the idea. Use a ruler to connect the lines. Notice when I'm done connecting the line, another terrible line, sorry guys, I draw arrowheads at the top because the line continues, even though my graph stops. And again, I'm going to label my graph with the original equation of the line that was given to me at the very beginning. All right, that's all for graphing. I hope that refreshed your brain from graphing back in 8th grade, and I look forward to seeing you in class.